Earlier this year, Apple TV Plus released the mind-blowing show Severance, and that season finale had everyone, and we mean everyone, at the edge of their seats. Now, how would you feel if we said that this show was inspired by a sitcom like The Office? No, really, Ben Stiller actually said that. How did this come about? Let's find out in this video. First up, where's the correlation? Yeah, that question had us scratching our heads too. If Severance was anything like The Office, we'd have seen at least one person look at the camera and given us that classic Jim Halpert look. But if you were to see things in its simplicity, what else would you look at when 90% of your show takes place in an office? So, The Office. This show is considered to be one of the funniest shows ever made, and that is not an exaggeration. That is, if you make it past the first season. Now, Severance, on the other hand, was just no words. Literally no words. The sci-fi show is mysterious, suspenseful, and has so much to take in. These two are absolutely nothing alike, despite the settings of the show. If you've seen Severance but haven't seen The Office, here's a quick description for you. There's this paper company called Dunder Mifflin, and it has a bunch of people working in one office, and each character, having their own personality, go through these hilarious misadventures that will leave you either laughing so hard you feel a six-pack coming on, or it'll leave you in tears. Saved you the Google search. Now, if you haven't seen Severance and are looking for reasons to start it, as a wise Shia LaBeouf once said, just do it. You will not regret it one bit. Another quick summary for you. The show involves a company called Lumon, where they surgically divide the memories you have at work from your personal life. We don't know what the company does, like, at all. Something about data refinement? Oh, come on, a show that original deserves a watch. Next up, what did the director actually say? Ah yes, Ben Stiller, another comedian adding to the list of actors who somehow managed to direct unbelievably good shows. Yes, we're looking at you, Bill Hader. We're still recovering from that Barry season finale. Also, Severance wasn't written overnight or in a few months. It actually took around 5 years. In an interview with THR, the director discussed the different aspects of the show and what the procedure was like sorting everything out in all these years. He talked about the different characters of the show, from Mark to Irving, who are all unique in their own way. Stiller wanted to fit Dylan, played by Zach Cherry, into the show and needed a way to balance his comedic nature with the serious tone of the show. He then remembered Dwight Schrute from The Office. Dylan reminded Ben of Dwight in one way or the other. Now that he pointed it out, we kind of see Dwight in Dylan. Also, what else influenced the show? 5 years is a long time to write and plan out a show. All forms of art are inspired by one another. So apart from The Office, what else influenced writers while thinking of Severance? Well, starting off with creator Dan Erickson. He first thought of the show when he was working in offices in LA. He absolutely hated his corporate life and one day thought to himself, you know what? I should write a show about this. It's going to blow everyone away. Other than that, a lot of 70s and 90s inspirations can be seen throughout the show, from the way some characters dress to the whole sinister and mysterious environment of The Office. You can clearly see themes from Alien, back when Mr. Milchick was interrogating Helly. Whoops, sorry about the spoiler. The false reality trope where everything is not what it seems was taken from the Matrix film. Like Neo, Mark's innie is also imprisoned in a false world. And you remember Jim Carrey from The Truman Show? Wasn't he also stuck inside a different kind of prison like a reality show? There are probably a number of other movies and shows where characters find themselves trying to escape from a makeshift world. But Severance had its own uniqueness to it. There's so much to delve into with this show, but if we did that, this video video would take up half your day. Next, more about the show. Where do we begin? One thing that catches the eye of most viewers is that transition effect the show has when switching from the characters Audi to their innie. How do they do it? Well, in simple terms, it's kind of a modified dolly zoom. Now, what's a dolly zoom? You may remember one of the most famous ones from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, when Star-Lord finds out the truth about his mother. So that moment when the camera zooms into the subject, but the environment zooms in the opposite direction, is what they call a dolly zoom. It shows that the subject is going through an uneasy or spiraling feeling, but the one in Severance used a lot of different computer technology and manual work to give us that special look when entering the elevator. This technique may have also been used while they were walking through the never-ending hallways in the office. Yes, it can also be used to make a setting seem bigger than it actually is. The Zoolander actor also said how they could move the walls around on set so they could be reused throughout the show. Good thinking. Can you imagine how much it would cost to make corridors that long? The setting was really interesting to see, with the lack of furniture, the empty, bland colors, and short ceilings. It all added a sort of tension, making it as if Lumon was a character of its own. Lastly, the future of the show. Ben Stiller had no idea that he'd be pulled in by this show. He was set to direct just one episode, but ended up working on 5 more. Honestly, who could blame him? The 14-time Emmy-nominated show is truly something special, and fans are aching for more. Luckily, Severance was renewed for another season, and we only wish it could be out by tomorrow. But shooting hasn't even started, and all we can do is wait. Stiller himself said how they wrote the first season in such a way they just had to make another season. How will the second season start off after that huge finale? Massive spoilers ahead. Helly's Audi's reputation has been ruined. Mark found out his deceased wife is alive, and Irving is jeopardizing everything he stands for. Thinking about it is sending chills down my spine. Whatever Ben and the rest of the crew have planned, it's going to be huge. Other news. First up, Michael Scott is in something new. Steve Carell has something in store for us in the upcoming Hulu 10-part series, The Patient. If you thought Severance sounds good, wait till you hear this. It's about a therapist, played by Steve, held prisoner by one of his patients. The patient? Yeah, he's a serial killer. Okay, we can't really get into detail about the show, so you'll just have to wait. And not for long. We'll be seeing Michael Scott take on this interesting role on the 30th of August. Trailers of the show are out, and you can stream it on Hulu. Also, Adam Scott didn't think he'd get the role. Parks and Recreation comedy actor Adam Scott was approached by the Severance director back in 2017, where he was given the opportunity to play the main protagonist of the show. At first, Scott thought he had absolutely no chance getting the role, because he's never done anything like this. Well, looking back at his filmography, the actor is right, but there's a new wave of comedians taking on serious roles, and Adam fit just perfectly into the category. He also talked about how other characters from the show Cheers inspired him while playing Mark in the show, along with other interests of The Twilight Zone, Lost, and Black Mirror. Looks like the people on set had different takes on the show, yet still managed to give brilliant performances. And Milchick teases season 2. Tremel Tillman, a rising new star, plays Lumon's supervisor, Mr. Milchick. He's very grateful for this role because in an interview, he said that no one knew him before January. Well, we bet he can't make it from one street to the other without being recognized now. The show has been a huge success by using mystery and suspense as its primary tool, especially with that cliffhanger at the end. Tillman gave a fantastic performance as the robotic supervisor and teased fans about season 2. The actor acknowledged the themes used to make Severance what it is and said that fans can expect some fun stuff. He has no intention in compromising the intriguing and mysterious elements of the show. Perhaps he meant the next season will be easier to digest as compared to the nail-biting first one. We don't really know, but what we do know is that season 2 begins filming later this year, and expect a lot more questions to be answered. That's all for this video. What do you think will happen to the Lumon team in the next season? season? Let us know in the comments below. As always, leave a like and hit the subscribe button below to see more of our content. We'll catch you in the next one.